If you were to choose one word to describe the NHS at the moment, what would that word be?
Fragmented.
Fragmented?
In meltdown.
In meltdown.
Overworked.
Overworked?
Struggling.
Struggling?
Unreachable.
Unreachable. That's interesting. My mum was a nurse, and a very proud nurse, and so the NHS was her livelihood. But she became very ill during her life, and it became her lifeline. And I spent a lot of time when I was growing up in and out of hospitals with my mum. My wife also works in the NHS, and my sister worked in the NHS. So the NHS, I feel, sort of runs through me. Unreachable, that's an interesting one. In what sense? Is that the ATM call?
Everything just feels so difficult. So I struggle to get an appointment. You might sit on the phone and you're number 7 in the queue, get to number 1 and it just goes dead.
Yeah.
Also, waiting for the ambulance to come, you're waiting at least 45 minutes or longer than that. And then at times they would ask you to get a cab.
Yeah.
So we had a recent sort of family experience where my mum got heart pains. My dad called 999, but she had to wait 4 hours for an ambulance. So this was a suspected heart attack. It took 2 days to diagnose what was the split aorta, which obviously is totally life-threatening. And then everything kicked in quite fast, and she was given a 6-hour operation. And then the care was amazing, and that's why I kind of said fragmented.
So it's that unreachable, the initial step.
Yeah. You know, it could have so easily gone the other way, just because everyone is overstretched in the system.
Yeah.
I've been a GP for over 40 years, and it's very demoralising to see things deteriorate in this kind of way and to see patients being let down over and over again in many different ways.
Yeah.
I've got colleagues and friends in the past year, many of whom have already left the NHS as junior doctors. And we need to be able to attract those people back.
I know we can do so much better than this. And that's why we've said that we would scrap the non-dom status and use that money to fund the next generation of doctors and nurses being trained to come into the system. That's desperately, desperately needed. To turn the NHS into an NHS fit for the future with preventative measures, much closer to people in their communities, so that we can once again say we have got a world-leading, world-beating NHS that is the pride of our country. Let's spin forward, and in your mind's eye, I suppose, how would you like to describe the NHS?
Life enhancing.
Life enhancing.
Health creating for people and communities.
World-class healthcare for everyone.
Yeah, something that's to be celebrated and admired by the world.
Just as Labour created the NHS, I'm determined that Labour will also build an NHS fit for the future for patients, the service that they yearn for, that they deserve, to build a better NHS as part of a better Britain.
Labour would scrap the non-dom tax loophole and use the money to fund more doctors and more nurses. Labour created our NHS 75 years ago. We will ensure it is fit for the future. Let's build a better NHS. Let's build a better Britain.